You are looking at one of the most tightly controlled, least understood systems in the entire United States military. Behind locked steel doors, reinforced walls, and layers of security that most people will never experience sits a network of facilities that quietly control billions of dollars in firepower. These are not warehouses. These are not storage rooms. These are the places where every weapon is accounted for, tracked, inspected, and trusted with human lives. And today, you are stepping inside. Before we go any further, think about this for a second. Every time a soldier picks up a rifle, that weapon has already passed through multiple hands, multiple inspections, and a system that tracks its entire existence. Nothing is random. Nothing is overlooked. If that level of precision surprises you, type "ready" in the comments, because what you are about to see goes even deeper. When most people imagine military power, they picture jets screaming across the sky, tanks rolling across open ground, or warships cutting through the ocean. But none of those systems mean anything without the weapons carried by the people on the ground. And before those weapons ever reach a soldier, they pass through one critical point: the armory system. This is where everything begins. An armory, or more accurately an arms room, is not just a place where weapons are stored. It is the control center for accountability. Every rifle, every handgun, every specialized weapon is assigned, logged, and monitored through this system. And the rules governing these facilities are not flexible. They are strict, standardized, and enforced across the entire military. Imagine walking up to a building that looks almost ordinary from the outside. But as you get closer, you notice the details: reinforced doors, controlled entry points, security lighting that eliminates shadows, cameras positioned to cover every angle. This is the first layer, and it is only the beginning. Inside, access is controlled down to the individual. Not even authorized personnel can simply walk in and grab a weapon. Every movement is recorded, every interaction is logged, and every weapon is tied to a specific identity. Now here is where it gets interesting. The level of control inside these facilities is so precise that every single firearm has its own documented history, a complete chain of custody. From the moment it enters the system to the moment it is issued, returned, repaired, or retired, everything is recorded. That means if a weapon was used last week in training, the system knows who had it, when it was issued, when it came back, and whether it had any issues. Nothing disappears into the background. Everything is visible. If that level of tracking sounds intense, wait until you hear how quickly it all happens. Modern systems use barcode scanning and RFID technology to process weapons in minutes. What used to take hours can now be done almost instantly. And that speed does not come at the cost of accuracy. It improves it. Think about that. Thousands of weapons, each with its own identity, all tracked in real time. If you had to trust your life to a system like that, would you feel confident in it? Drop your answer in the comments, because this is exactly what soldiers rely on every single day. Now let's talk about what actually happens when a weapon is issued. Before a soldier receives a firearm, it is inspected. Not casually. Not quickly. Thoroughly. The weapon must be confirmed safe, functional, and clear. That means no live rounds, no hidden issues, no overlooked damage. And when that weapon comes back, the process repeats. And when that weapon comes back, the process repeats. If anything is wrong, even something minor, it is flagged immediately. The weapon is removed from circulation. It does not go back out until it has been repaired and cleared. This is not optional. This is the standard. Because when you are dealing with equipment that can mean the difference between life and death, there is no room for error. Now here is something most people do not realize. Not all armories are the same. Some operate at a level that goes far beyond standard security. These are the facilities responsible for supporting personnel who protect the most sensitive assets in the country. We are talking about nuclear-level security environments. Imagine a facility that never shuts down. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. Staffed, monitored, and maintained at all times.
The weapons inside these armories are not just important, they are critical.
They are used by personnel guarding some of the most powerful systems ever created. And because of that, the standards here are even higher. Access is more restricted, inspections are more rigorous, and the margin for error is zero. Let that sink in for a moment. Zero. If you think that level of pressure changes how people work, you are absolutely right. And the people who operate these facilities are trained to handle it. Now let's shift focus to the weapons themselves, because this is where the scale really starts to hit. The backbone of the system has long been the standard infantry rifle. Lightweight, reliable, and designed for versatility. But the military is constantly evolving, and so are its weapons. A new generation of rifles is being introduced, designed to be more powerful, more accurate, and more adaptable to modern combat environments. These weapons use new ammunition types, improved optics, and advanced materials that enhance performance in the field. And here is the key point. Every single one of those new weapons flows through the armory system. That means before any soldier uses them, they are tracked, inspected, and integrated into the same accountability structure that has been refined over decades. Now think about the scale of that transition. Hundreds of thousands of weapons being upgraded, replaced, or modified. Each one processed individually, each one documented. This is not just logistics, this is precision at a massive scale. And it does not stop with rifles. Handguns, machine guns, sniper systems, specialized weapons used by elite units. All of them are part of this system. All of them are maintained, tracked, and ready. Some of these weapons are designed for extreme accuracy at long distances. Others are built for high rates of fire. And some are designed for highly specific missions that most people will never hear about. But no matter how advanced or specialized they all follow the same rule: accountability. If you are still with me, hit that like button, because this is where we get into the people behind the system, the armorers. These are the individuals responsible for keeping everything running. They are not just technicians, they are specialists with deep knowledge of weapon systems, maintenance procedures, and inventory management. On any given day, they might be inspecting weapons returned from training, diagnosing malfunctions, or rebuilding components. And in some cases, they are doing work that requires an incredibly high level of skill. Imagine crafting a precision component from scratch, working with exact measurements, ensuring that every detail meets strict standards. That is the level some of these professionals operate at. And here is something that might surprise you. The number of people qualified to perform certain types of work is extremely small. Out of large groups, only a handful are trained to handle advanced repairs or build specialized systems. That makes their role even more critical, because without them, the entire system slows down. And the work never stops. These facilities operate continuously. Weapons are constantly being issued, returned, inspected, and maintained. There is no downtime. Now let's talk about something that rarely gets attention. What happens after training? Every time weapons are used, ammunition is expended. And the scale of that usage is enormous. We are talking about millions of rounds. But what happens to the spent casings? They are collected, sorted, cleaned, and processed through a recycling system. And this is not a small operation. It is structured, organized, and handled with the same attention to detail as everything else. Why? Because even spent materials can present risks if not handled properly. Occasionally, live rounds can end up mixed in, and that is something that must be identified and handled safely. So every casing is checked. And once processed, the materials are recycled, generating revenue that goes back into the system. Think about that. Even the waste is accounted for. If that level of efficiency impresses you, let me know in the comments, because this is one of those details that most people never consider. Now zoom out and look at the bigger picture. You have weapons worth billions of dollars, ammunition stockpiles that reach into the hundreds of millions of rounds, facilities built to withstand intrusion, systems that track every movement, and people trained to maintain it all. And it all works together, seamlessly, quietly, without recognition. Because when everything is functioning correctly, no one notices. But the moment something goes wrong, the impact is immediate. That is why the system is designed the way it is. That is why the standards are so high. And that is why the people running it take their roles so seriously.